Tonight, an early morning brawl outside a Grand Bahama business leaves 1 dead and 2 in hospital. We've got video of the night out that turned deadly. Plus, new tax breaks are on the horizon. The government pledging tax relief for energy-efficient appliances in 2025, all to decrease our carbon footprint. And later, the animal of the week is back, this time with a blessing. Our news, the weekend edition, starts right now. Welcome to our news, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Berthany McDermott. We begin in Grand Bahama. 4 men are being questioned by police tonight following a stabbing that ended in a man being killed. Police tell us they responded to complaints of a disturbance outside a business on Polaris Drive in Carvel Beach around 2 a.m. this morning. When police got there, police met a group of men in a physical altercation. Police quickly de-escalated the situation and the men quickly dispersed. Our news obtained this video footage of the incident that's been circulating on social media. After the incident, police later found out that 2 men were taken to hospital with multiple stab wounds and underwent medical treatment. Shortly after, a 3rd man arrived at the hospital with multiple stab wounds to his lower body and back. He was pronounced dead. Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands says he's not backing away from his support of capital punishment as the country continues to grapple with crime problems. As the murder count nears 100 with less than 3 months left in the year, Sands says his views on the matter are his, adding that it may be time for the Minister of National Security, to step down. Joshua Williams has his candid comments in this report tonight.
Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands says he's not changed his personal view on capital punishment, and with crime seemingly out of control in the country, Sands is doubling down on his position. Speaking to reporters on the sideline, he says the situation is out of control.
Bear in mind that we suffer more loss of productive life and productivity from Bahamians from violence and trauma than we do from chronic non-communicable diseases. Despite the fact that we are some of the unhealthiest people in the world, okay? More diabetes, more high blood pressure, more heart disease, cancer, etc. Despite that, if you put all of those non-communicable diseases together, we lose more productivity from violence and trauma than we do from them.
David Mitchell was hanged on January 6, 2000. It's the last time an act of capital punishment was carried out in the Bahamas. When asked why he supports capital punishment, Sands says it's not the view of the party he chairs, but his own.
I believe that it is an effective punishment. It also happens to be the law on the books. My public comments for years, decades, has been in support of capital punishment. And so if you go back into the archives and you see pictures of me marching in the street with people like Rodney Munker or Rupert Roberts or Branville McCartney, etc., I'm not going to hide from my past.
Last week was particularly bloody. 4 murders in 4 days. A man was shot as he arrived home with his baby in his arms. Another shot as he sat on a porch. Following that, a man was shot near a superwash late in the night, and then a young man was shot in a vehicle as he sat outside of his Sunset Park home. Sands is calling for National Security Minister Wayne Munro to step up to the plate.
Every single day, one needs to recalibrate and determine whether or not people's lives are being impacted, because day in and day out, the streets are flowing with blood. This is no laughing matter. This is not for the faint of heart. And so if the minister with responsibility says he can't do no better, well, find somebody who can.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks, Joshua. Well, F&M Senator and Shadow Minister for Social Services Maxine Seymour is stressing the importance of communication between parents and children and is urging families to create safe spaces for their children to express themselves. It comes days after the death of an 8-year-old boy who allegedly committed suicide. The tragic incident leaving a community in mourning and sheds light on the critical issues surrounding mental health in children. Seymour expressing deep sorrow over the incident.
We have to do our part to just speak with our children, communicate with our children as much as possible to shelter them from whatever hardships and challenges and difficulties that we may face as adults. Even though times are hard, we have to, try to keep their world a little bit more sheltered. and really sanitized. Like I try to do that, try not to have conversations, whether it's about finances or other challenges in a family. Try to have those conversations away from the children. Try to make sure that they can be at peace when they go to bed. Let's just do our part to have open conversations with them.
Seymour says parents should also monitor what their children watch online.
We cannot underestimate the influence of media on children. And so we have to censor everything that they consume. And whether that's music, whether that's, television and other programming, whether that's games, because the reality is that at certain ages, you can't sufficiently process and differentiate between reality and fiction. And so we have to be very cautious when we expose our children to certain levels of violence, certain levels of pornography, certain levels of alternate options, because they're still children.
Well, moving now to the economy, the government is looking to bring some relief to its residents. Climate Change Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Rochelle Newbold, telling us the Davis administration will roll out tax breaks in early 2025 for anyone purchasing solar panels and energy-efficient appliances. Newbold says the tax breaks will likely not be fixed for the entire year.
So the first quarter of 2025, there are low emission initiatives that are going to be rolled out that address getting yourself some solar panels on your house, dealing with efficiency appliances that are for your business and residential. You got to make it a two-prong approach. And we understand everything going up except your salary, right? So we understand that, and we are indeed looking at to roll those tax-exempt items out for you to be able to take advantage of.
The initiative comes as the region faces the threat of a worsening climate crisis, bringing with it devastating natural disasters. Speaking at this week's press briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister, Newbold said Bahamians should keep an eye on their consumption levels that add to sea level rise and high greenhouse gases. Newbold adds that while some appliances are cheaper, they're not better. She says Bahamians need to think smart when buying appliances.
Even though we do have a plan, right? We have the New Energy Era program that's being rolling out. We're switching BPL to renewable energy, but you, with the same inefficient AC, is still going to be pulling a lot of energy demand from it. We need to think smart, right? Things are being offloaded in the Caribbean, technology that is going to become obsolete. And you could be sitting there with that in your house having invested money in something that you can no longer use.
Well, the private sector will have the chance to take part in a $500 million project designed just for them. Newbold says the fund will be provided by the Inter-American Development Bank's INVEST program. The Climate Change Director adds the fund is open only to private sector entities dealing with climate mitigation or adaptation for tourism, renewable energy, and matters related to the blue economy, among other things.
This is a 5-year project, so your project proposals can span anywhere from 1 to 2 years to the full 5-year rollout. We are looking for big projects that'll have large impacts.
Newbold also telling private sector participants the initiative isn't only for the Bahamas.
Keeping in mind that we are not alone in this $500 bid. We also have our colleagues from Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica, Belize, and the Dominican Republic. So it's a competitive offering. You will have to meet certain criteria. We intend to host a virtual online consultative process the week of October 28th, and you would need to respond to let us know to send you the invite by sending us an email at cceau@bahamas.gov.bs.
When our news weekend comes back from the break, a local insurance company is giving back to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. We'll tell you how, and Fusion Superplex launches a new product for gamers. That's coming up when our news weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
In a significant show of support for national security, Colina Insurance has donated 40 ballistic helmets to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. The contribution underscores Colina's commitment to enhancing the safety and protection of Bahamian Defense Force officers, both home and abroad. Making the handover on Friday at Colina's head office on Collins Avenue was Director of Corporate Communications Maxine Seymour. She says the headgear will provide essential protection for officers, particularly those deployed in high-risk situations.
These helmets, which are in olive green, well suited for their uniform, are the high-cut Viper A3 model with a 7-pad liner system. Available in varying sizes to ensure proper fit and comfort for each officer. Importantly, they are designed to meet the rigorous performance standards and provide maximum protection for our Defense Force personnel.
The ballistic helmets, valued at $40,000, provide level 3A protection, meaning they can stop high-velocity handgun rounds, according to Commander Edward Fritz.
You see, these are actually what we call Special Forces helmets. As was mentioned by our good partner here, you will find that these are what you call rated 3 alpha, which means, as she stated, could withstand up to .40 rounds. Additionally, they are cut differently. And I take this opportunity to note that Captain McPhee would have served many years ago in Haiti, and he still has his original helmet. And so him seeing this modernized helmet, he realizes the difference. It also has attachment rails, so different accoutrements can be attached to it, lights, infrared, and the like.
Fusion Superplex is launching their new product, the Arena, which is an esports battleground. As a result, their first ever gamers tournament dubbed Inferno is set for October 19th and 20th. The Mega Entertainment Center has partnered with Bahamian esports company Gameheads, who specialize in organizing competitive gaming tournaments. With participants eligible to win up to $3,000 in prize money, Gamehead CEO and co-founder Andre Foster Jr. telling us what gamers can expect when they register.
Yeah, so to compete, participants must be at least 13 years old. Those under 18 are going to need parental consent, but everybody must pre-register online, and entry fees will be required to reserve a spot. Players will bring their own controller or fight sticks, and the tournament would follow a standard Street Fighter VI rules, best of 3 games per match until finals, where it would change to a best of 5 in a bracket that we're going to reveal in the next coming weeks.
Fusion's marketing coordinator, Charisma Roker, says the XS3 Theater will be transformed into an esports event space. She added they will also have several activities available for non-gamers during the tournament.
As a spectator, you do pay for the passes for the 2 days. Once you get in, you're greeted by vendors, those that are offering anime merchandise, different gaming merchandise, collectibles, and we also have a cosplaying masquerade. And we also have free game or free play gaming community initiative where you can come, and even if you're not participating in the tournament, we do have free play for those available.
The registration deadline is October 15th. For more information, you can visit Fusion's social media pages at Fusion Superplex. Well, still to come on Our News Weekend, it's 5 nights of fun at the Atlantis Resort ahead of a grand New Year's Eve event.
The Junkanoo boys win big in Barbados. A college baseball player wins his 2nd straight chip, and Cable Bahamas employees hoop it up. We have all that coming up next on our Sports Weekend.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, presents the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Shaw, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Races Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Break and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Good evening, happy Sunday. I'm Tage Adderley, and we are back with our sports weekend. The Bahamas men's national soccer team beat the USVI 3-1 in CONCACAF Nations play last night. Here are the details. Jonkanu boys beat the USVI 3-1 in CONCACAF Nations play at Wildly Turf in Barbados. Brandon Adderley, no relation, got team 2-4-2 on the board in the 13th minute with a header for a goal. He would add another 10 minutes later, and Omari Bain scored a goal again in the 30th to put the USVI in a 3-0 hole. Bahamas played great defense for the rest of the game. Hassani Edgar scored in the 69th to give the USVI their only goal and the game its final score. That was a huge win, no doubt, but now their attention turns to their matchup on Tuesday against the host nation, Barbados. Now we turn to the Great North, where a Bahamian baseball player ended his decorated college career with a second straight championship. Owen Taylor helped his University of Toronto Varsity Blues secure the second straight Ontario Athletics Association championship yesterday in a 15-5 blowout of Waterloo on their home turf in nearby Ajax, Ontario. Waterloo stayed away from Taylor, Toronto's most dangerous hitter, walking him an astonishing 6 times. Ryan Shue, who hit behind Taylor, was able to capitalize, driving in 6 runs on 3 hits. Before we go, Cable Bahamas employees took to the court for a night of fun, camaraderie, and basketball.
This is a part of our team building event that we currently have. And one of the events that we have is basketball. And so we have a lot of the team members out here on the holiday weekend enjoying themselves, having a great time playing basketball. That's John Gomez, Alive's Chief Executive Officer. He was taking in the Cable Bahamas basketball tournament last night in the Kendall G. Isaacs Gymnasium. Cable Bahamas head of training says that this is one of several activities on the company's calendar.
Balance. And so as a result of that, you will see in our calendar of events for the year a plethora of activities just for everybody at every different level. This is one of them. We know our employees love to have fun. We know that they're very competitive.
3 teams played in the round-robin style tournament: the Sharks, the Dragons, and the Falcons. The Falcons ended up winning the day.
It was a good experience. You know, we had a tough 2 games, but we came through and we pulled it out, and now we are the champions, the Falcons.
They'll never hear the end of this in the office. Before we go, Jonquel Jones and Liberty played in Game 2 of the WNBA Finals early this afternoon. Check our socials for the results. That's a wrap for sports on the Sunday evening. For Our News Weekend, I'm Tage Adderley. Enjoy your National Heroes Day holiday.
Thanks, Tage, and congratulations to Team Falcons. Well, when we come back from the break, pet owners from across the island brought their well-behaved pets for an annual blessing. The details when Our News Weekend returns.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group along with Alpha Sounds present the best of the best Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year, featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcons, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Welcome back to Our News Weekend. Meteorologists are predicting a rainy National Heroes Day tomorrow. Ian McKenzie joins us now with what you need to know. Ian.
Thanks, Berthany, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Sunday evening forecast. We're currently outside our studios. We're under cloudy skies with a temperature of 80. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour with a feels-like temperature of 89. Temperatures across the country, we have 80s pretty much across most of the northwest Bahamas, with the exception of Alistown, Bimini at 82, and Nicholstown at 79. Central Bahamas, we have 80s continuing in Camps Bay, a pair of 82s in Arthurstown and Coburn Towns in Salvador, a pair of 83s in Georgetown and Deadman's Key, Long Island. Southeast Bahamas, 85 in Duncantown, as well as Matthewtown and Nagua, 83s, Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, and Abrahams Bay, Maguana, 86 in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. Satellite and radar imagery at this time. We have some cloudiness across the northwest and portions of the central Bahamas. This is all associated with some troughing. We have a weak cold front that is expected to push through the capital sometime tomorrow. This should trigger up some showers and thunderstorm activity late tonight and into tomorrow as well. Taking a look now at the tropics, there is a weak area of low pressure well to our east. This is expected to move closer to the Greater Antilles by mid-week, where it should become more conducive for possible development. Elsewhere, there's an area that is expected to develop in the western Caribbean Sea and continue to move more towards the west. So hopefully that continues with the forecast track. No problem for the Bahamas. Northwest Bahamas boating conditions, swell still out there, rip currents for you swimmers, winds west-southwest to west-northwest at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4, but up to 6 feet offshore, and there's swells. Low tide at 11:23 p.m. tonight, high tide at 5:27 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the central and southeast Bahamas, again, low swells and rip currents, winds northeast, east 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4, but up to 6 feet offshore in those swells. Here's a look now at your extended forecast, where we still have some showers in the forecast for holiday tomorrow. So sorry, all you beachgoers, last holiday before Christmas. We expect showers on and off throughout the course of the week, with those highs only getting into the mid to upper 80s, with your lows to mid to upper 70s. That's a wrap on your Sunday evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. We may be a few months away from the new year, but Atlantis Paradise Island is already prepared, announcing a staggering 5 nights of elevated experiences through a curated series of events. Beginning December 27th, the resort ignites with electrifying celebrity performances and parties until sunrise on January 1st, 2025. Director of Entertainment at Atlantis Paradise Island, Antonio Johnson, tells us more.
We have Steve Aoki performing in our nightclub. On December 28th, we'll have R&B group 112 perform some of their hits. And on December 29th, we have our best of the best Bahamian bands performing here in Barsoul. On December 30th, we'll have Michael Jackson's Who's Bad tribute. And on December 31st, we will have our grand finale, where we have Party Like a Royal.
Last year's Party Like a Royal event was hosted by Neil Patrick Harris. DJing was Grammy Award-winning producer Timbaland, and attendees were left stunned when surprise performer Nelly hit the stage. As for this year
we'll have Lil Jon be our featured guest DJ, and we have Adam Devine, he'll be our host. And of course, each year we have a surprise performance. I don't want to say who it is, but each year we have a surprise performance that everybody should be able to be there for.
It's that time again where we highlight the work of the Bahamas Humane Society. In our final story tonight, Marlena Leonard highlights an annual tradition for animal lovers supported by the Humane Society, the blessing of the animals.
It was a small but excited group gathered at the Christchurch Cathedral for the blessing of the animals. Well-behaved pets and their owners sat ready to be blessed for the year in the church's courtyard, part of a long-standing tradition. General Manager at the Bahamas Humane Society, Percy Grant, tells us why it means so much.
It's important, really, because we need the animals' blessings, particularly now with all the stuff that goes on with humans. Animals need their blessings, and we are so grateful to the Anglican Church for doing this for us. This has been many years. Started over with Father Cartwright down at St. Christopher's in Laifakey, and is now up here in town now. So we are delighted that this is happening.
Flanked by 2 of the newest recruits to the shelter, Grant tells us while the turnout was small, the support is strong.
Those who do care about the animals, they do bring it. We'd like it to see more attendees, but you know how it is. It's people on a Sunday afternoon. It's probably not the best of time, but we are really especially delighted about this, especially now. This is our 100th year. Remember, this is our 100th year.
But Grant says they weren't just celebrating the blessing that day, but also a breakthrough in animal protection legislation.
And we are especially excited that the new veterinary bill has been passed in the House of Assembly, which also extends into citations for infractions of animal cruelty. So Bahamians have to be aware now that those of us who are in the omission of cruelty, any contribution to cruelty, tying dogs and short chains, no shelter, any kind of act of omission, which you're contributing to cruelty, there is a ticket now.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Thanks, Marlena, and thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Berthany McDermott. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Make it a great week, everyone.
Danielle here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more great content, be sure to hit that notification button and follow the team you already trust.